Smoke curled like black ribbons above the dying town of Coyote Hollow. The air reeked of ash and sorrow. Martha knelt beside the wreck of her family's cookhouse, her hands blistered from dragging a half-burnt loaf out of the embers. She pressed it to her chest as if it were something living, something that could still forgive her. Around her, the wind whispered through broken glass, carrying the low moan of a dying steer somewhere beyond the corral. A horse's hooves approached, measured, heavy, unhurried. Martha didn't look up. She knew that rhythm. Men like that rode in to take what little was left. "Town's quiet," a deep voice said. She raised her eyes. The man was broad as the saloon doorway, shoulders dusted with road grit, coat torn from long travel. His gaze swept the ruins, then settled on her. "You the only one left?" "Only one fool enough to stay," she said, standing with effort. Her dress was singed at the hem. "You'd best keep riding, mister. Ain't nothing here but smoke and shame." He dismounted, boots sinking into the scorched earth. "Name's Rhett Callahan. I run a ranch north of here. Need a cook." Martha barked a laugh, dry, brittle. "You'd hire me?" "Folks here said I'm too fat to dance, too slow to court. Guess that makes me perfect for stirring beans till I die." Rhett studied her in silence. The firelight caught the side of his face, hardening his expression into something unreadable. "Don't care how you look," he said finally. "I care if you can work." She hesitated, eyes glistening beneath the soot. "I can cook, sir. That's all I've got left." He nodded once, slow and sure. "Then saddle up, Miss Martha. Let's see what you've really got left." The ranch sprawled beneath an ocean of sky, its fences splintered, its men louder than the wind. Martha stepped into that world like a soldier marching into battle, apron tied, chin high, fear buried under duty. The kitchen was her fort, and by noon it smelled of cornbread and courage. At first, the ranch hands jeered. They called her Big Martha, laughed at how the floorboards groaned beneath her steps. She answered with silence and skillet. By sundown, the laughter faded beneath the weight of her cooking. Stews rich enough to hush a crowd, biscuits so soft they broke men's pride. Work hardened her hands, but not her heart. Rhett watched her from the doorway most evenings, eyes lingering on the way she hummed while stirring, how she smiled at the fire as if it were a friend. He told himself it was admiration, nothing more. Yet each night he lingered a little longer before returning to the cold bunkhouse. The desert tested them both. Storms ripped through the canyons, wolves took calves, and men lost faith. But Martha never faltered. When supplies ran low, she turned scraps into feasts. When spirits broke, her laughter mended them. Even Rhett's hardened men began to tip their hats at her door. One night, a gunshot cracked through the dark. Rustlers. Rhett rode out with his men, leaving Martha alone in the wind. From the ridge, she saw lanterns flicker like dying stars. She ran to the smokehouse, doused a rag in kerosene, and set a blaze that lit the sky, drawing the outlaws away from the herd. When Rhett found her coughing in the ashes, he lifted her by the shoulders, voice rough with fear. She smiled weakly. "Told you I could work, sir." He didn't answer, but his hand didn't let go. The night rain came like judgment, pounding the tin roof until the whole house seemed to tremble. Martha stirred a pot of stew, the scent of thyme and smoke curling through the room. The door creaked. A man stepped inside, soaked to the bone, eyes glinting with something cruel. She froze. It wasn't Rhett. Clay Bowers, the outlaw she'd heard whispered about, grinned through the lightning's glare. "Heard you got guts, cook. Thought I'd see for myself." His voice was all gravel and venom. Martha's heart thudded. The ladle slipped from her hand and clattered to the floor. He lunged forward, seizing her wrist. "You're the one who burned my men out that night," he hissed. "Brave for a fat woman." Before fear could root her still, she grabbed the pot from the stove and hurled its boiling contents straight into his face. Clay screamed, stumbling back. The door burst open. Rhett, drenched and wild-eyed, shotgun raised. Two thunderclaps followed, one from heaven, one from his barrel. Silence fell, thick and absolute. Martha sank to her knees, shaking. Rhett dropped the gun and knelt beside her. His thumb brushed the soot from her cheek, his voice barely a whisper. "You saved my life." Again she laughed, breath hitching. "Guess I'm not just the cook, then." "You never were," he said. Morning came soft and gold, washing over the ranch like forgiveness. Martha stood on the porch, her apron torn but her spirit whole. The men who once mocked her now tipped their hats. Rhett joined her, wordless.